Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Ghostrunner walkthrough and this is level 10 called Echoes. And here is a new enemy type. The official name for these I just found out is Wardens. I prefer to call them samurais due to them swinging those swords. And there is a trophy called Hit Me If You Can for blocking one of these guys' swings. It's 3 or 5 times in a row. I think it is 5. The beginning of this level, as you can see, there is one at the very beginning. He is a great guy to do it on. And how it works is when you see that Cyclops mask they have flash red, they are gonna charge at you. When they get close, swing your sword. That will count as a parry. And you see them get knocked a little bit back. And you want to do that on one enemy 5 times in a row. I think it is a little bit easier to do it when you're a little bit closer to the enemies, because there isn't such a big what you call it, like time gap in between the red flash in his visor until he slashes at you. But feel free to play around. You may probably not do it at your first attempt, but that is a great place to do it. Since it is at the very beginning of the level, there is just one enemy. Here, by the way, you saw me riding down on drone. Immediately run in here, because there are 2 of those samurais. And then if you do like I did and run in, you can make them follow you. And whenever there are more than one of those samurais... Ah, by the way, these enemies, the sluggers, I said there is trophy for killing 3 of them while they're in air with using blink. This is the place I did it, because there is a checkpoint up in that corridor. Just go out, wait for one of them to jump, use blink, reset the checkpoint, and do that. I think it's 3 times. And I can't remember what the trophy is called, but it's called something. Either way, that is a great place to unlock it right there. And basically anywhere and everywhere where you find slugger enemies that probably have another official name, that is just a name I chose for them, because for some reason I didn't do research on what the enemies' official names were before I started recording this. But it makes it more personal if you make up your own names. And down here you want to slide and immediately stand up, so you can jump and take out that guy. And there we take out the robot, of course. And now we're gonna go up and take out these 2 guys. Like so. And that is a great thing. As I said in a previous video, I don't use any of the perks during this, or I didn't use any of the perks during this recording. And what that does is that my special ability down there refills as fast as possible. That is something I mentioned before. It's worth mentioning again in case you missed it. The circuit grid, where you can place those Tetris-like pieces to give yourself like maybe an extra dash, or that you can see enemies through walls, see collectibles on your map. The more spaces you have filled, the longer it will take for your special ability to recharge. So since I prefer to use that quite often, I think it is a bigger help overall. I like to not use any of the perks at all, just to be able to use that as often as I can. And also, something I could have mentioned before the 10th level is that if you're struggling with an area or a certain encounter, your special ability meter, it's constantly trying to fill. But if you have to reset a fight enough times, the meter fills up is the point I am failing so very hard at getting to. Because when you die and you restart from the checkpoint, it will go down to basically where it was. But not exactly where it was. It will have filled up a little bit. So if you're really struggling with a checkpoint and you don't have like the patience to make it fill up and you want to use your special abilities, that is a small tip on your path going through this. And since we're at level 10, we're actually past the halfway mark. There are a total of 17 levels in the main game. So we are getting there, and since we beat the gatekeeper back in level 8, if you have gotten this far, you should feel confident in your ability to get through the rest as well. Because that boss fight, I don't know about you, please let me know in the comments how many tries it took you to beat it. You can see it in at the level select screen. Because I think I mentioned that on my first playthrough, it took me 399 tries. That's how much I struggled with that atrocity of a boss fight. And just to put that in perspective, when I played through Cuphead, which everyone knows is also tough as nails, I think I died around 400 times throughout the entirety of that game. I think it was 425, if I remember correctly. And I almost got up to that many times on that level. But it's not just due to that level being hard, it's also, I don't know, I had a hard time seeing the pattern. But hopefully my video can make it easier for you, or maybe you're just better at seeing patterns than I am. And something to know, which this is also probably redundant, because if you're watching this video you have probably beaten it already. But I got to a point, I remember, that I just saw colors. I just saw the color red. It was not like, you know, when you lose your temper and you describe it as seeing red. My eyes couldn't distinguish the laser beams anymore, because I'd reset that first checkpoint so many times. Damn. But I think we're making good progress. This is quite a fun level. This also, like most parts of this game, I have to say this, I have mentioned this before. Right. Yes, this is important. Here we have a new enemy, a sniper. You will unlock a special ability later called Surge, where you can fire off a laser shot of your own. This is a great place to shoot that sniper with Surge from a distance. You will unlock a trophy for doing so as well. And what you need to know about the snipers in this game, there are very few of them. But you know, in all games, whenever there is a sniper, the mechanic works like this. They hit like a truck. Here is another one, by the way. But they take forever to aim, right? They take like 3 days and half a holiday to aim, but they hit really, really hard. That is the rule of gaming. That is 101 when you program a game. Snipers always take forever to aim, but they hit like a fucking truck. It is almost an instant kill, no matter the difficulty or no matter the game. And someone at this house did not get that memo. Because these snipers, they do not take forever to aim. You saw me facing off against the first one, dashing very quickly in between those different buildings. There is a reason for that. Stick your head out for like 2 or 3 seconds. And I don't mean 2 or 3 seconds too long, I just mean 2 or 3 seconds. He will blast your skull straight off your shoulders. Because he takes his job seriously and he went to super sniper school. He is at the same level when it comes to accuracy as the snipers are in Sekiro. Or he doesn't have to be, because he kills you in one hit, just like every enemy in this game does. But he is willing to shoot from the hip. If he is confident in clocking you, which he is, and he will, if you expose yourself, expose your ass, he will blow it off. Is what I'm saying. So never mess with the snipers. But come back here. When you have unlocked Surge, use level select. Go back to that first sniper encounter. Try to get... Also equip the perk so you get like a red outline so you can see him properly. And shoot him with Surge and you will unlock a trophy. It's called like Improvise, Overpower, something along those lines. I can't really remember. But now it's time to head back into Cyber Void. And we have this rotating thing where we are gonna pick up a total of 13 of those orbs. And this is not my favorite part of the game. I have talked about this previously, that I think these puzzles make the game come to a halt. And this puzzle is sadly no exception from that rule, because sometimes you have to like let this thing rotate around you, and Jack's feet are quite grippy up to a certain point, and then you will just start sliding off. But as you can see, as I have done here, you can like wedge yourself around corners. Only problem is sometimes when you have to stand on the floor and wait for it to become a wall, and maybe fall down on a platform that the piece of geography you're standing on isn't quite attached to. This can become frustrating. But this room here that I'm standing in right now, that I just left, actually is a checkpoint, which is very kind of them. Because now we are up at 11 out of 13 spheres. So if you mess up there and fall off, all is forgiven and you don't have to replay this entire thing. And the good thing is, the very second you touch the 13th orb, even if it's in like you will fall down, there is no ground beneath it, feel free to jump for it, because the very second you touch it, you will be teleported to the exit, which is also very kind of them. And I struggled so much with this puzzle on my first playthrough. I still think it's kind of frustrating, since maneuvering around this thing as it spins can be harder than it needs to be, and for the wrong reasons. Like so, there I was a bit extra careful, but you see, the game teleports you, that's not me editing. But that is the end of that level, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman, signing off.